afternoon for the Swan Maxi Talks. My name is Marilyn Mower. I've been in this industry for about 35 years. One of the first boats I ever raced on was a Swan 36. So I feel quite comfortable in this community. So let me explain to you what our program is for this afternoon. I have as our speakers Mr. Perotti, from the President and CEO of Sanlorenzo Group, and Giovanni Pomati, CEO of Nautor Swan. We will have a presentation where I hope that I am answering a lot of the questions that you brought with you today, and then depending on how talkative Italian these people are, we will have time for questions, I hope. So, let's jump in. Swan has exciting news, and I'm talking about the boat that you may have discovered already at their stand. The new diesel-electric Swan 88. This is hull number 1. She debuted in Cannes, and she is parked right out there. Additionally, hull number 2 of the 188s was delivered in June. Then she had a traditional propulsion package, a 3rd unit of the 88, 2 units of the 108, and 2 units of the 128. One of those is also diesel electric, and a unit of the 98 are under construction. But no doubt the most exciting news is the merger of the companies led by Mr. Ferragamo and Mr. Perotti. Obviously, one of the topics of this yacht show has been, what are the synergies between these two companies? Or why is this a good business fit? After all, one has a commanding history in the sailing yacht arena, and the other, not at all. That's part of what we're going to discuss now. So let me begin with Mr. Pomati. When Mr. Ferragamo bought Swan in 1998, he had the idea of energizing it to become an international brand by injecting Italian style into a sailboat line known for its finished craftsmanship and circumnavigation durability. Swans had once been the backbone of offshore racing, particularly distance events and long-distance cruising. Then came the development of a new division called Club Swan for pure racers and highly innovative one-design boats. Then other divisions have been added along the way, as well as a business and owner support division with brokerage, charter, and Nautor Swan global service. Your product line numbers 23 models at the moment, including your latest foray into the chase boat, day boat market. With so much activity under the Swan banner, why is now the time to merge with Sanlorenzo?
Easy one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, coming to what you already said, in the last 10 years, Swan added business to the boat business with the service, because we are more than convinced that in this industry, the product is at the center, but the experience around the product is the big driver. And so we needed to have, to complete that experience to the boat, chartering the brokerage that is moving you from one boat to the other, the service that is assisting you, the yacht management, and this has been part of the growth. Then we came to the point that specialization is one important word linked to the big innovations that we are living in these last years. And so just before my coming, they, in Nautor Swan, they divided between the sport yachts, so the racing yachts, and the cruising yachts. And so was born the Club Swan division for the racing yachts. And then we enlarged enlarged the offer of the cruising yachts, restarting the small ones, and the first one was 48, that in the last 6 years we have 60 to the sea, and came then the relaunch of the Maxi division with the new Maxi that we will talk about today. All of this got to grow the company, but also to complicate the company. And here I come to the answer to your question. Why a partner like Sanlorenzo? Because, I mean, when a company is growing, okay, you need for sure the financial resources to manage the growth, but also the know-how resources. Also, I make a simple example. You build a team of young engineers up in Finland, and these guys coming from all over the world, they want then to go back where their own country is, and you have nothing to offer to them. So, and if you have a partner, a mother company that is the industry, you can offer that. And I experienced that already in the tire industry. It was exactly the same. When we were growing and growing, it was no possibility to give a chance to their potential. This is just to give an example of what is not business related, but is industrial life related.
That's funny. Let me ask you a similar question, but from the opposite perspective. You acquired the majority share of Sanlorenzo in 2005, if I believe. Like Swan, Sanlorenzo was an existing boutique company with a loyal following. In fact, it's 8 years older than Swan. Since you acquired the company, it has grown to encompass 4 yards and yacht construction in 3 materials. The company, in one version or another, has delivered about 1,000 yachts. Am I correct? All motor yachts within the range of 24 to 70 meters. And in 2018, you added Blue Game Sport Utility yachts of 13 to 21 meters. Sanlorenzo has had nothing to do with sailing, except for the fact that a month ago, Blue Game delivered a hydrogen-powered, zero-carbon catamaran tender for the American Magic America's Cup team. In 2019, you oversaw listing Sanlorenzo on the Italian Stock Exchange. So let me ask you, with so much activity under the Sanlorenzo banner, why is now the time to buy Swan?
Thank you for the question. Thank you to all of you to be here. Well, I think that the best way to start the reply is to show a video, which is only 45 seconds, which is showing how the two companies can combine.
Okay.
The vision of Sanlorenzo knows no limits in its horizons. It blossoms into an ever-expanding orbit. Into this orbit, a new star has now entered, Nautor Swan. United by the same values, the same heritage crafts, with an even DNA, quality, reliability, and timeless elegance. Two visionary forces, united, but keeping the heritage and the exclusivity of own identity. The best of motor and sailing yachting, to carry their clients into the future.
That's a great video. What comments do you have to add to this?
The first comment is that we promise each other with Leonardo to produce the video, to show the video to you only once and never again. The two brands will be kept rigorously separated, two mono-brands. So from the market point of view, communication, marketing, sales office, boat shows, Sanlorenzo is Sanlorenzo, Swan is Swan. Of course, we have a lot of synergy, but the synergy are on this side of the wall. which is production, purchasing, research and development, and so forth. Why Swan? Because I think that between Swan and Sanlorenzo there is a lot in common, much more than looking to a sail company and a motorboat company. In Swan we have 2,300 customers, which is a club, very much loyal to the Swan brand. They're proud to be in the Swan brand. In Sanlorenzo we have 1,000, that's why it was a bit less, because 1,000 is the total boat built since the beginning of the company. Sanlorenzo is 1,000 customers, again they're connoisseur, yachtsmen, they're part of a club. When they want a new boat they come back and they buy a new Sanlorenzo. We are the company with a large revenue, approximately 900 million, which is very similar to only 2 or 3 companies in the world that you know, they are Italians. But we build only 70 yachts, not 500. So the scarcity, the low number of construction, the community altogether in a club, we do a made-to-measure boat, we have a very expert customer. These are a lot of things in common with Swan. I would have never approached a sailboat company building hundreds of boats or 1,000 boats. The Swan is building 25, 28. So we think that there is a perfect match from the point of view of the DNA, of the soul of the two companies. And I have been last week for 3 days at the Rolex Cup. You know, Rolex Swan Cup is there since 40 years. They cut the big cake with the 40 years, which is showing something. Rolex is a top brand with a lot of care in choosing, you know, the partner, and they kept the relationship for 40 years to Swan. So there is value there that I think that we can combine with Sanlorenzo and have Sanlorenzo a better company with Swan. If there was in the world a brand who could make a premium to Sanlorenzo, I think is Swan. And this is the reason why we choose that particular brand, of course, in a field that we were not present. It will be very hard for us to build a sailboat with the name Sanlorenzo. I think we have the skill to do it because we have a lot of people inside of the company with a lot of history in sail. But maybe for a customer to buy a sailboat in Sanlorenzo was not that normal. If it is a Swan, which is part of the world of Sanlorenzo and Swan together, I think is the best way.
So the boutique nature of both companies, the customer service orientation, the customization of each one of the vessels, you see Perotti there and Dr.
Yes. Yes. The way of distributing the boat, we do a direct distribution, they do a distribution with agents, so they don't have 100 dealers, we do not have 100 dealers. So there is a lot of small things in common which are really matching the two brands in a kind of high brand positioning in both engine boats and sailboats.
Mr. Perotti, let me follow up. This is a multi-year structured buyout. On the day the acquisition was announced, it was said that Swan would retain its heritage and the exclusivity of its brand, and that Nautor Swan would continue to be run by Mr. Ferragamo as president and yourself as co-CEO. Can you tell us, from your perspective, how you foresee the integration of the two companies and how you see leveraging their strengths?
Okay, this is at the end what we have already started to do. That's most of the synergy will be behind the scene in a way. So we have to keep going on our route, representing the brand, the sailing culture. But on the other side, we have to make advantage of what we can have from this being together with Sanlorenzo. Can you imagine the diesel electric boats that we have here? We had to partner with the supplier of the electric system. And the supplier of the electric system are enormous companies where it's very difficult to arrive to the critical point. And at the end, even if we are not the smallest in the sailing yachts, because probably we are the bigger ones, but we are very, very small in comparison to who is the supplier of that. With Sanlorenzo, we will have a bigger shoulder. They have an experience on that topic, first of all, that is common to the two kind of vessels. But also they have a technical office that, by the size of the company, can be much bigger than what we have. And then the relation to the university, etc. There are interests behind that can really support. And here, having been in the automotive industry for 30 years is helping me a lot, because in the automotive industry, if you would not have had that the sport builder, the sport car builder, become part of the big passenger car builder, probably would have no more Ferrari, no more Lamborghini, no more Porsche, etc. And what is fantastic and to me fascinating is that the big group, Volkswagen, Audi, and Fiat also, etc., they left the space to promote the sporting cars, to promote the brand of that, but supporting and looking for synergy every other day. So it's something that I think we can repeat here. And we started already for the big courage of Massimo to let these people to work with us, and the openness, I think, from Nautor to work together already from a couple of months with the respect of being separated company, but we could put down a roadmap for the future. So that now that we can really open book working together, we are already doing that.
Economies of scale, it's a proven factor. Thank you for that. Let's switch to a topic you and I were discussing the other day, sustainability. It would seem like sailing yachts are the logical choice for owners concerned about sustainability and the decarbonization of recreational boating. Can you elaborate on what sustainability means to you personally and how you're integrating that into Swan, not only in the product offerings, but perhaps also of the construction chain?
What is more sustainable than a sailing yacht? Difficult to add something to that. But despite that, I think that sustainability is not only carbon-free vessel, but it's also the way that you live the nature, you live the sailing boat. And so we work at 360 degrees, not only on the engine, but on many other stuff that we have on the boat. Then we came back to the engine, because even if we should only use sails, sometimes we have to use engine. And we came to the point of the diesel electric, and it's incredible how many data we had on paper. But after the first 5,000 miles made with the boats that we have here for the premiere, we experienced that we are really in front of us almost a carbon-free boats, because the idle generation that is inside the things that you can do with that system is giving you the possibility to almost to be without the gasoline in the boat and charge the battery and having the artillery and the propulsion. Other things that we discovered that for us is also part of the sustainability concept is a noise reduction. I mean, the noise reduction of sailing without the generators running, because unfortunately it's a big boat due to the power that you need on the winch. Also sailing, you have to go with the generator on, and these big lithium battery packs are helping us in that to avoid and so the noise is strongly reduced.
You have some interesting statistics, I think, on this Swan 88 that you shared with me, and don't just gloss over them. I think they're pretty significant. About how you can run your hotel load, for example. Everybody talks about hotel load because that tends to be actually the greatest consumption of petrol on board.
Yes, that is easy, and I mean, for example, we can have a hotel without any problem with all the clima on, etc. for more than 12 hours. We can move to a full hybrid for 40 nautical miles, and you can motoring for more than 1,500 miles with one or two generators. But as said before, you can go with a limited number of nautical miles. If you raise the price, it is about 12% of the speed of the boat with idle generation recharging the battery.
What about the possibility to add hydrogeneration and hydrogen propulsion to? I know this is something that your company has looked into. Where are we going with that?
Well, I think that probably all of you knows that the emission to the air coming from shipping is only 3% in the world. And if we get inside of shipping, yachting is doing 0.2% of the 3%, which is 0.4 times 0.6, which is 6 out of 100,000 parts. Nothing. But we think that we have a responsibility because we are building yachts, and the people is watching us, and they pretend, and I think they're right to pretend, that we really care about the environment. So in Sanlorenzo we decided in 2021, just after COVID, to sign an agreement with Siemens. They used to build fuel cell for submarines since 2000, 20 years ago. But the point was the transport of hydrogen on board, which is very dangerous. So they developed a fantastic machine, which is called a reformer, which is reforming the methanol to hydrogen, and then using hydrogen and oxygen through the fuel cell, they produce electricity. The residual is not CO2 anymore, but is vapor water which goes back to the sea. Perfect machine. The green methanol is used to transport the hydrogen without risk, because the green methanol has the same coefficient of risk of diesel, which is absolutely normal, it's acceptable in the world. So we decided to build the first 50 meter, which is here at the shore, with a machine which is producing 100 kilowatt of electricity for the artillery out of methanol, so completely sustainable that way. The machine that you can see on board is a machine like this, is producing 5 kilowatt. Siemens is working on a project to make a bigger machine, which will have more or less the same size, but 1 meter high, which will produce 50 kilowatt. So that machine can be really the future, especially in the sail yachts. You can imagine 100 feet, 88 feet, 120 feet, it's a Maxi Yacht sailboat, which is going with the wind, which is the first best sustainable element. But when you don't have wind, instead of starting a thermic engine, you start an engine which is producing the electricity with a chemic composition of hydrogen and oxygen, with a tank full of methanol, which is not risky. So that will be a kind of a perfect machine for the future. So we dream to do that. I think that was one of the reasons to combine Sanlorenzo and Swan, because I think that when technology combined with a product like Swan, which has so much heritage, which has so much good, we can make something special, which is not only for the business and the numbers or making more money, but it is for the business, for the people, for the humanity.
Well, an immediate benefit of the fuel cells is that there's very little moving parts. There's no vibration. There are no cylinders pumping up and down. There's nothing spinning around.
And no vibration, no noise. And there is some noise for the ventilation, for the refreshing.
Mr. Pomati, how do we leverage the low-carbon attributes of sailing yachts into gaining market share in the 24-meter and up section of the leisure marine market? I realize that's the gorilla in the room every year is how do we get more people into sailing?
Exactly. So there is a mantra from when I joined this business, and I understood there's a shrinking number of people buying the sail yachts, that when people were asking me, okay, but how do you plan to get market share out of your competitors? And my answer was, let's partner with the competitors to grow the market of the sailing yachts, because if I fight on a market share that is shrinking, I will die sooner or later. Then, if the approach is that to get more people to sail on sailing yachts, it came to me, and linked to the issue of sustainability, it came to me one example that's the kids of, let's say, high rich people. These guys, they are much more aware of what their parents are, what I am, for example, and they are pushing their family in a direction that is that of the sustainability. We have experienced kids of our owners that to come, that Nautor Swan, one of the in the experience of getting owner of the boat, there is the visit to the factory, looking at the process to produce the boat, etc. Because there is Finland behind eventually, and it happened more than once that the kids of the owner are taking the train and not the airplane to arrive to Finland. So Finland is already very difficult to reach with the plane, can you imagine with the train? But this is just to give an idea of the sensibilities that young guys have today for the planet.
Thank you. So, Mr. Perotti, as Sanlorenzo becomes the parent company of Nautor Swan, and as Sanlorenzo is a public company, I think it would be interesting to know how your motor yacht divisions are approaching sustainability and decarbonization.
Well, as I said before, we were the first to start because we felt the responsibility. The industry is moving quickly to also other alternatives which are considered even better or more affordable, which is the B-fuel engine, full methanol generator. There is a lot of action. All the engine manufacturers, they are developing new engines. We are studying the way of building the big methanol tank, because you need a coffer dam, you need some control. considering that what we did on the 50-meter has been approved by Lloyd's. We work with Lloyd's registered people in our office for 3 years to discuss the new rule of safety. So there is a work to do, but the machine started. So the energy is there from all over the world to try to have a better product and improve the quality of yachting in the world, taking care of this climate change and all this kind of product. There is one important problem. We are talking with the politics, not only in Italy but mainly in Europe. That is the rules to increase the logistic, how to distribute methanol, how to produce the green methanol in a safety way, and to be as much as possible capillary in the distribution, because that will be important for yachting. It's not that important for shipping, because you know the ship goes from one big harbor to another big harbor. But one way or the other, we must have the distribution of methanol or hydrogen from a small boat, also in a little Greek island, which is not easy to get. But you know, if you think the beginning of the 19th century, when everybody was going on horse, there was the first car built, there was no road, there was no fuel station, there was not even the raffinery to produce the gas oil. But today, nobody is going to horse anymore, and everybody goes with the car. So we must not be against the future and the innovation. We have to accommodate innovation, and altogether we have to work with politicians, with the rules, with the technology, with the builder, with the customer, with the captain, the crew, which is one of the most difficult sides of this. Yes, because whatever is new is very difficult to be accepted. It's much easier to wake up in the morning and to go to start the thermic engine as you used to do for 100 years.
Well, that's an interesting point, and I think the infrastructure has been a reason that people could say, oh no, I don't want to go there. Just like when Tier 3 engines needed urea, oh, I don't want to get involved in that. Where do I get the urea? Well, gee, that wasn't that hard. And it seems to me, as an American, that the availability of biofuels or methanol is currently greater in a majority of the Mediterranean than it is, say, on the east coast of the U.S.
Well, yes, it is again politics. We are waiting the new election, and we will see what will be the future.
Can you share where the largest growth areas have been since you joined Nautor Swan 6 years ago?
Geographically speaking, is North Europe. It's the main area of development. Germany, for sure. UK was reborn. We saw many boats in the history of Nautor Swan in UK, but we were quite slow, and this has been a market that has been reborn. Outside Europe, US. I mean, there was a time in which US were, I mean, 1/3 of sales if you study the commercial sales in the years 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 1/3 of production was going to US. Then we had many years with zero almost. Then we restarted, and now we have a flow to the US, but it's an area where we will partner a lot with Sanlorenzo to face that market, because it's huge. You need to be present there with the company. I mean, it's a complicated market that you need to be strong to face, and that will be for sure one of the development area. Then there is Asia, but there we are fighting with the people that they don't want to stay under the sun, so so there I think that there is a future there, but we have to to try to understand how to match their personality with the live experience with a sailing yacht.
Oh, we'll have to have regattas at night with all kinds of little lights to follow around the ultimate beer can. Right?
Exactly.
You came out, and I don't know whether everybody knows this or not, but Mr. Pomati came out of the tire industry, something we think of rightly or wrongly every day. What has surprised you most about the yachting industry now that you're in the middle of it?
I mean, what was very easy, if you love a tire, you can love the sailing yacht in 2 seconds. But also tire is very complicated. Anyhow, I mean, no, the big challenge I had, and for sure I lost some time on that, is that I moved to be, as simple to say, that I was producing pizza and now I'm producing houses. So you can understand what's the difference. So the pizza, every day you buy the raw material and you sell the pizza. With a house, you design the house today and you deliver a house in 3 years. So this is a bigger challenge that I think moving in this kind of industry you have. But I said before, there are also a lot of commonality, and the most important for me is the global approach, the importance of the brand. That's for me, Perotti was an incredible school for that, and then technology innovation, and everyday technology innovation. That's the big fuel for the business.
People come to yacht shows to get the latest news and the inside scoop on future development and new models. Can you tell us more about the new models and what the yard's production capabilities are for the coming year? I realize that we've been focusing on the large boats, but you might also want to talk about the energies that might be coming out of the small Club Swans.
I mean, as a Club Swan are tools to bring people to the sailing and to the sail market. That's important. But we are here in the Super Maxi boat show, so let's focus on that. I mean, we are completing the renewal of the Maxi performance cruises segment. We had here last year the first one, that is the 108. This year we have the 88. Next year we will have the 128. And with that we have completed the renewal of this segment. Diesel electric that we spoke largely today is one of the novelty, but for sure there are others like the higher comfort on the sea. Where we studied a lot with Herman. The interior of a sailing yacht, if you compare the sailing yacht of today with the sailing yacht of only 15-20 years ago, there is an enormous difference. 20 years ago, in a Maxi, you had to move to go to an important VIP cabin. You had to walk by head, and now we have corridor as in the power boat. I mean, this is something that lasted some years to develop. Looking forward, we are studying many things to make the life on the sea with a sailing yacht more comfortable, longer range, and easier also to live. But yeah, I know that Massimo has some idea, so I can.
If I can say something, taking the opportunity with this floor. In the last 20 years, we have been very much innovative in the line of product of Sanlorenzo. Probably innovation was the first reason of success of the company. But I'm pleased that Luca and Antonio Santella are here with me, because they have been with me every day to do the innovation of Sanlorenzo. Always we kept the tradition, so we did innovation within tradition. So We were very careful to keep the line of the Sanlorenzo, to keep the made-to-measure approach, not to build too many boats, to keep the scarcity as one of the points. And this is something that I like to promise to all the Swan lover, because when you speak to a Swan customer, is a Swan lover. We will never touch the heritage because that is the value of the brand. I discussed it for 14 months with Leonardo regarding numbers. And at the end he convinced me to accept a value that was much more than the company because of the heritage, because of the brand. And we are not stupid and we don't want to break or to destroy that. So we promise to innovate, we promise to do a new line of product, but everything will be done looking back to what has been done in the last 66 years, which has been done so well that there's a value that we want to keep for the future. This is a promise. I'd like to do it in front of journalists so that you can spray that message to the market, because this is what we want to do. There is a lot of synergy, of course. If we go to the line of product above 40 meters, remember, above 40 meters, because after I say that in Cannes, I read a lot of articles saying they will build a 40 meter in aluminum. No, the 40 meter is in carbon, is the 128 is already there, is beautiful. If I have to build a 45 meter or a 50 meter, I will do it, we will do it in aluminum because that is the right material. Swan in Finland has no experience. We have a lot of experience in Viareggio, in Italy, and so the boat will be built in Viareggio because in Viareggio there is 50 years of experience in building one of the most beautiful motor sailor in aluminum. So we will keep that tradition in Viareggio and we will start from there. But that is a new line of product. But we have a lot of synergy with the carbon, with the fiber, with the resin. We buy the same engines from Volvo, we buy the same generator, we buy from the same supplier of the deck. So all that synergy will help Swan to increase the profitability. We will never downscale the quality of the boat to make more profit. There is other way to do it. We can be very much efficient in the indirect cost. Instead of having directors of every singular function of the company, you can enjoy the synergy of being part of a larger group. So you can cut costs. We can negotiate the space that the boat show together. We can do a lot of synergy, which will improve the profitability. This is the message I have to give to my friends in Milano for the stock exchange. But I got some question when I was in Portocervo from one of the hundreds of customers saying, but now Max, quality. I would be very stupid to reduce the quality of Swan. The perception of the brand must remain, and if possible even be improved by the research and development, investment, money we can put on the table to improve this fantastic boat.
Oh, that sounds good.
It sounds a lot of work, unfortunately.
You had mentioned something to me the other day about a catch. I think this collection of people here...
I am super happy because today we have been, we started the day with the Southern Spa breakfast, and the topic of their conference were mainly two, both very interesting. The first one is sailing yacht industry is going down, less and less buyer. It's not true because finally we already started to go up a couple of years ago, but anyhow. And one of the reasons for this is that a sailing yacht for the same length has a price that is out of control versus a powerboat. for one of the main costs that you have in our bill of material, listening this is good. Then they are folks, I mean, there are many reasons to say that, etc. But I mean, they are understanding that they have to partner with us to improve the performance of the yachts, but not only increasing the prices, but try to get solutions. The second topic, and here I come to you, is that they are designing, they are making R&D, you know, the company is an old group, is growing dramatically, okay, and they put a lot of R&D in studying sales plan that are not only costing less, but even more important, that are easier to be maintained, easier to be addressed on the boat. And one of the points that they brought today, and tomorrow we will have a meeting with them to go more in detail with the sailors that come from Sanlorenzo, because I think that it is important. Unfortunately, this morning they were not with us. The catch, so the development of the catch sailing plan. For sure, they are interested in selling each boat to mast, but on the other side, I think that there is a lot of truth there.
Well,
and we have some thinking inside that is going in the same direction.
So I think we've kind of just tossed out a little bit of a scoop there for people that are journalists that are paying attention. I'm a fan of the split rig myself. I think it's much easier for shorthand crew to manage, but
you know that, I mean, the catch, the real catch is only one, that is the Swan 65, so we have a tradition to repeat.
So, we're going to run out of time here, and I know people have things to do, but what is your business strategy with the small power boats of 13 to 23 meters, the shadow, the overshadow, and the arrow?
I need help. Sorry. I mean, we wanted to give to our owner a chase boat, and so was born the Shadow. Okay, I mean the Shadow is born from a need that was there in an arena where there are a lot of alternatives. Okay, but we were convinced that we could offer something in that kind of market with an elegance, a quality level, etc. that would have brought something new and performance. I mean, the Shadow is a boat that is performing 50 knots, and there are not many of the jet boats that can perform that. Then we came with the Arrow that has been launched this year, that is in a way, again, a performance boat, and is in a way is a terrace on the sea. Okay, I mean, I invite you to test that. But here, now that we are with Sanlorenzo, I mean, guys, I would say that it's better that we speak about the product together there, because I think that they can have good ideas to share with our idea, but I mean, so much more problem.
I have to admit that I'm a fan of the Blue Game line. Those speak to me. So I'm something like that. But I think that they're very smart. And I wonder if there could be some, without asking you to tip your hand, if there can be some synergies between Swan's powerboat line and your lovely little Blue Games.
Of course. There is a man there called Luca. Can you stand up, Luca, please? Luca is the inventor of Blue Game, the founder, and he had 2 chances to go to the Olympic in sail. So I think that Luca can be a nice trade union between Swan and Blue Game, and the motor yacht, the motor chase boat from Swan. So you see there is a lot of synergy, but we have always to keep the tradition and be very careful not to mix too much.
Well, before Mariangela comes out and strangles me, I promised you the opportunity to maybe ask a question, if you had some. And I don't see her giving me the sign. So are there, I see lots of journalists here that I've been to press conferences with, and I wonder if any of you have questions that you would like to ask these two gentlemen. Or should we just, you know...
You said it all. Very good. You didn't even one question for us. Nuts.
That's good.
Fantastic.
They have nothing.
For Mr. Perotti, I've seen you. You have to be honest. I've seen you in Portocervo for the Rolling Swan Cup. What has been your first impression when you step on board on a sailing yacht and join a regatta? Because I've seen you several other occasions, but not in this one. So, and to breathe this kind of atmosphere, this environment, what has been your first impressions?
3 strong feelings. The first one was my back. Because in October I will be 64, and I was thinking, oh my God, now I have to jump from one side to the other. The second feeling was kind of excitement, because the skipper was Paul Caillard and the tactic guy was Kiffy, so I'm 64, so I remember the first important American Cup from Moro di Venezia. And the third feeling, which is the strongest, was the happiness of Cecilia, which is my daughter, close to me. Just that you know, she had a nice dinner 2 days ago with Michetti, and she decided to take a 28 and start racing with close one with Michetti and Luca. So the excitement has been so much, so big that the passion is starting strong. And this for me is fantastic, because I don't have age anymore to start that, but Cecilia is 31. And if she does it, that will be one important point for the future as well.
I don't know if anybody wants to try and top an answer that could go be more charming than that. But any other questions out here before Mariangela makes us go away? Thank you very much for coming out here. I hope that it was enjoyable and enlightening. And it's up to you all to try and track them down if you have any more questions to ask them. But thanks so much for coming out on an icky day. It was lovely to see you all.
Thank you.